Welcome back, everybody. I got another build for you. This is the house from David the Gnome. I don't know if you guys watched David the Gnome or if maybe I was like the only one, but it was like this little TV show cartoon when I was growing up that was on TV, and it was about gnomes. It was like kind of documentary style a little bit, but little like adventures that these gnomes went on, and you got to learn about gnome culture and stuff. I was really into that show. I'm watching it in the background there. I watched a few episodes to do research. It's a lot slower than I remember. It's probably because I have no attention span anymore. But it's still a good show. It's got some great characters. By the way, I'm just like drawing their house in the background. I forgot to tell you that. This is the episode where Swift runs from Italy to the Alps and back in a day. Swift is this fox who David gets around on, and I think that's so cool. I used to love Swift, and I like the idea of getting around on a fox. But anyway, I decided to draw the gnome house, so it was pretty hard. I just looked at a picture and drew it, so my angles are really crazy in a few places. They're pretty wonky. But I think it turned out pretty good overall. It took a really long time, but it was fun. And so now I'm getting started here. I'm gonna show you this piece of foam core, but Megan is laying on top of it right now. And I thought maybe she wanted to run the show, but she got distracted. So here I am getting started. I'm gonna make the logs for this house. I don't remember if I said, I'm gonna make this house. And I'm gonna make the house out of foam core, and I'm gonna cut a bunch of strips of foam core and make logs. And I think it will work. So here I am, cutting lots of foam core. I have a really dull blade, so it's taking much longer than it should. I think I did half a centimeter for each one. The foam core I'm using, this is not a good piece of foam core because you want the paper to come off neatly, and that one did not. So I switched to a fancier one. This is more expensive foam core. And I made a little prototype so you can kind of see, like, this is going to be like a log cabin, so I need to stack up little logs, and I think it'll work. So here I'm just testing the layout. I had to make a 2D version of the layout, which was hard to like switch my brain from 3D to 2D, but I made this drawing just so I'd have something to reference, and I made a little, I don't know, layout here to get an idea of the scale. And I don't really do scale, I kind of just go by vibes, so that's how it felt like it should be. So I'm just getting started off with the base. You start with the base, makes sense, right? I'm gonna glue everything onto this thing, which I guess is what a base is. So I probably didn't need to tell you that. I forgot to put on the front porch in this part, so I was just like confidently forging ahead, feeling good, and then I went to draw the porch, and I was like, wait a minute. So I checked my measurement, and then I realized, like an idiot, I just didn't put a porch on it. Right there. Yep, that's what I forgot. So I had to go back and make another base to go under the new base, or the old base, and put them together, and all better now. Now there's porch. So at this point, I'm just trying to figure out where my walls are gonna go. I ended up tweaking these things a little bit, just again based on vibes. Don't accuse me of keeping to any scale. I definitely do not. So this is kind of the outline of it. I need to make a little bathroom. The bathroom, it depends which images you refer to. So sometimes the bathroom like cuts into the main room, and sometimes it does not. So the version of image I went with had the bathroom cutting into the main room. And now I'm making these little sleeping nooks. Gnomes sleep in what are basically closets that are all bed. So I guess you would call that a nook. It's super cute, actually, but maybe a little claustrophobic for those of you who don't want to sleep in a closet. Gnome life might not be for you, but they're little. I don't know if that matters. Anyway, I cut up all those logs, and now I gotta peel all the paper off. And so that took a long time. These things sound really weird. I don't know if you've ever played with foam core. If you cut it up, it just sounds wrong when you drop it like that. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like wrong. Unexpected. So here I'm just making an outline of where all my walls will go, so I have kind of a template, and then I can cut down each log, as it were, and measure cut glue. Like a whole bunch of times. This is kind of like, I don't know, I call it a front porch. It's where the well will be. I'm not gonna build the well in this video. There's gonna be a part 2 of this video. So I'm pointing out here that, like any log cabin, you want your walls to be tied in to, like, anytime you make a turn or a corner or whatever. So I just like alternated whether my piece would go all the way or stop short. They talk about, you know, in this show they talk about gnome houses and the construction, and it's all very vague. They talk about like waterproofing the wood, which to me is insufficient. Like, they're building a house and it's going to be underground. It's like a house made of wood and it's going to be underground. So I was just like bitching about all these different elements of gnome building technology, and my boyfriend was finally like, maybe it's magic. And I think he has a point. It's also like a kid's show, so I just had to let that go. So that was my little buddy. I made him. He's just polymer clay. I wanted something that would be the right scale to compare to. Not so that I could measure stuff, but just to have a guy to reference. And that's what he was. He's a fun little guy. So I'm just painting all these logs now. I figured out I could use a toothpick and kind of carve into the paint and foam, and it will give it a wood grain. So this is the second coat of paint. It's just acrylic and Mod Podge, and I'm just like cutting into the foam, leaving these little grooves. I'll show you in a second. So it gives you kind of a wood grain. I think it looks pretty wood-like, and you can see the alternating joints there. Yeah. This took a really long time. I could edit this part out, but I just like want you to suffer with me, please. It took so long. Days. And now I'm dry brushing. Bring out the texture. I do end up putting a wash over this color. I didn't really like how this color turned out, but that happens later. I made some other polymer clay guys. A gnome and a mushroom. So I'm gonna work on the floor. Yeah, no jump cut there. This is me installing the floor. So this is not really like an accurate gnome house floor. It would be solid planks, like if you look at the image. It was just solid planks all the way across. Whereas this method is like a modern floor installation method. And that's just how I did it, because I was using stir sticks, and sometimes you just have to modify your project so that it will work with stir sticks, because stir sticks are cheap. I don't want to go buy planking. Planking's expensive. Balsa? Oh my god. I could grow my own balsa. This is just a little trap door. They use this as an emergency exit if for some reason they can't go out the front door underground. They gotta have a back door. Megan's just like in my way. Sometimes I bother her until she leaves, and sometimes she bothers me till I leave. It's kind of a contest. So that's the floor. Hey! I think it looks decent. It looks like a modern floor, but it'll do. So now I just gotta stick some stir sticks in that little trapdoor, make it nicer. So now I'm making door trim, and I have tried to avoid mitering joints for a while. I don't know why. It's actually not that hard, but like there's a certain part of my brain that it breaks to try and think about these angles. Oh, my dog is coughing. So I just make a lot of bad cuts, and I like hold them up, and then when they're wrong, I'm like, oh, okay, like that was a bad move, and then I throw it away and start over. But I cut all those out, so you wouldn't know. So I just do the two sides on the doorways, and then I measure at the top of the angle to get what the size for the top should be. And it worked pretty good to have this little miter, like oh, he's so shiny. To have the hobby saw, the granddad saw, and the little miter box. It worked pretty well. I recommend it. So this is the book. I gotta do some frames, but I'm just showing you this book. This is what this build is based on, and that's what the show is based on. And it's a pretty cool book. It's a little edgy. There's some gnome nudity in it that I found a little disturbing. It's in the 70s. It was from the 70s, so I don't know. It's different times. Anyway, I made this little template, and it actually made cutting all this framing way easier. I think it's looking pretty good. And those nooks, like I said, they have built-in beds, so I just built like a raised platform. I threw down some pieces of foam down there, and I'm just installing some stir sticks to give that little platform bed a look. It'll be cute with doors, then it'll really look like a nook or a closet. This is gonna be the roof. I'm throwing some stir sticks on here because I want the rigidity, but the roof is going to be detachable, so I will be able to lift off the whole roof. So I needed this to be like stronger than just cereal box. I decided my walls looked too short, so I decided to add foam to the underside of this, which would give me some extra wall height. It does leave an unfortunate gap, but I think it worked okay. You'll see. So that's my roof. And now I'm gonna build some eaves, because roofs have eaves. That's an eave. So again, just more cereal box and more stir sticks. So many stir sticks. This is a stir stick heavy project. A lot of foam, a lot of stir sticks. I have a lot to go through, so that's okay. I think I'm maybe halfway through my box. Someday I'll have to get more. These are really scary to cut off because they just fly everywhere. I'm not gonna do a sound effect. I don't know how. It's too hard. and I decided I needed some lighting, so I'm just figuring out how I'm gonna route these little fairy lights, these little fairy gnome lights. As I noted here, gnomes actually light their houses with candles, and somehow they don't burn them down. They're better with candles than I am. I've burnt down so many houses with candles. So now I'm putting in some neodymium magnets. This will make it so the roof like kind of stays on, but can also be removed. It like holds it in place, but it'll still be detachable. And I'll put them on all the corners. It's pretty good, pretty good. So now I gotta stain the floor, and I tried like a million different types of stain, and the one I ended up liking was instant coffee. It gets a little darker each time, which I guess is kind of the definition of a stain, but I realized it probably has no UV resistance, so if you care about that, probably don't use coffee. But I just liked the color, and I liked that I could adjust the color like really gradually with more coats. So just a third cup of boiling water and 4 teaspoons instant coffee. I use decaf, but I don't think it matters. And then I forgot about it for a while and it molded, so don't do that. So now I gotta figure out the roof. Roofs are hard. I tend to just try to like visualize it and hack my way through it rather than doing like math or learning how roofs are designed. So this is just my process. Like, that won't work. Obviously there's places where that cannot be. So now I know I need to change it. At this point, I think I have figured out, I figured out this house is gonna have to have dormers, which are kind of like the wings that stick off of your roof. That's the only way this is gonna work. And the original drawing I was working off of doesn't include dormers, so it kind of bends reality a little. It's very fantastical, but since I have to make it reality, I gotta figure out how to do it. So it's not totally keeping with the drawing, because the drawing is not totally accurate to reality. Because, again, kid's book, whatever. I would like it to be accurate. That's okay. I'm hacking through it. I figured it out. Eventually. Shed dormer. That didn't go there. So yeah, I mean, you could probably watch people's videos where they explain how to make roofs. I don't know. I'm not gonna watch them. So now I just need the end gable, which is the pointy part, the triangle bit. So you just measure the width without the dormers, and then find the center, and there's your gable. You kind of eyeball how tall you want it to be. And then you look at it and see if it feels good. And I decided that that felt good. I liked it. So now I'm working on a ridge beam. This is what will hold up the roof in the middle. And I notched it so it can sit on top of this vertical piece on the gable end. And there it is. And I'm sticking with this foam core, so I decided to make my rafters out of foam core, and I cut them so they could kind of hold up that ridge beam. And this was tricky. Like, foam core is really like bendy, you know. Obviously this is not what you'd really want to build any real roof out of, because it lasts about 5 seconds, but for this craft I feel like it was okay. So I just kept measuring to make sure my ridge beam was staying level, that I didn't want it like raising up or going lower because of what I was doing with the rafters. I also had to make sure I didn't like push it to be not at a 90-degree angle perpendicular. Yeah, perpendicular to the end gable. This sounds very technical. I know, I like looked up all these words because I wanted to sound really smart while I made a foam roof. Yeah. Yeah, I'm amazing. So smart. I just imagine like the soil, like cave, you know, there's like a cave in and these gnomes are just buried alive. And they're like, why did we build our roof out of foam? It was Sarah. So this is the knee wall. That's the little short wall that will be at the end there, where I'm gonna put a window, just for fun. So I swapped out my cereal box janky roof for just some nice cardstock, all in one piece. And now I'm working on that shed dormer wall, which needs to be like kind of a weird angly dude. So if you measure your height, as I have done here, and then think about it some more and look at it, and then do the 2 ruler thing, and then measure your other height or your length. Yeah, measure that, do that, and then get that. Yeah, I figured it out. I don't know. I can't explain it. I forgot to put the top bits on the end gable. Yeah, I'm still using the big words, top bits. So I went back and did that. It would have been easier if I had done that before, but I didn't think about it. My dog is sneezing. Dogs don't respect narration. They don't care. Oh no, he wants to go outside. Actually, he just wanted food, so I fed him. Maybe he'll leave me alone now. So I'm just attaching the dormer walls. Do you hear that? He's scooting his food dish around. That's what my dog does. He asks for food and then he's like, I don't know if I really want food. I think I'll push my dish around. And I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's very annoying. He's a good boy though. So here I'm just making a window. These are long matchsticks that I am using. So if you ever get a box of those like fireplace matchsticks, they're really good for this kind of thing. They don't have a lot of strength, but I don't need them to have much. The actual gnome house doesn't have windows because it's underground, but I thought that would be kind of boring. So I'm putting in windows. Like I added dormers and I'm adding windows. So this house like could be an above ground house if you wanted it to be one. And it would work just fine. I don't know how they build it like underground. They have to haul all the wood down into a hole. All these little planks. I guess they're really little, as are gnomes. Must just work. So here's my window wall. I had to notch it out for those little corner braces, but I think it looks pretty cool. Yeah, it's nice. And then I make a little outside piece, and that has the plastic. It's just trash, piece of plastic for the window. I'll glue that baby in. Pretty cool. Alright, well this is a wooden floor for a dollhouse. And I priced it out and this was like $7, and getting individual balsa strips of this size would have been crazy expensive. So I thought this worked out pretty well. And the scale is good. I need roof planking because they have a wood roof with wood planks. So I just had to be careful that the middle of my roof would land between 2 planks. And now I'm just marking off the dormer roofing. And cutting this out was hard. I don't think this is what you should use your craft knife for. There's probably something better, but I don't know what that would be. I don't feel like a Dremel would work really well because it would make really like not straight cuts. I don't know. I don't know the solution here. So I just used my craft knife and it took a really long time. But eventually you get through it. So I did a lot of testing to see what color I wanted the roof to be. I tried sepia, India ink, but I ended up liking Vallejo flat earth. Just Vallejo acrylic, I ended up liking that a lot better. You'll be pleased to know my dog has decided to eat. So I'm just testing how transparent this needs to be. I add a little water, try it out, add a little more water, till I get it to where I like it. And there she be. See that it's bowed, and I hit the edges with the paint and it caused the paint to wick, so I'm gonna just try and make it look natural. I'm gonna try and make it look like that was a result of just the house being underground, but this wood does bow when you stain it, so I just like weighted it down overnight and it dried and aired out and stuff and it was fine. So you just gotta weigh it down. So I had a little cross support. I'm sticking the dormer in here and I wanted something to go across in between those two rafters. So I had a little support there. And now I'm gonna glue this roof down. This is that cardstock. I painted it to look kind of like a roof, more than just black. And now I'm gluing it down. Not sure why I textured the top of those rafters just to glue a roof over the top of them, but you know, what's done is done. I have to live with myself. So I need a little notch just to get around the roof sticking out of the shed dormer. But this is pretty easy when you think about installs, like just having a sheet like this made it go pretty quickly if you can cut it to the right shape. That dormer is giving me more trouble. I ended up having to cut across just so I could glue the top bit there. Nothing that could not be overcome. Turned out pretty good. There's a little gap here, and I end up patching that later. But I like it overall. This turned out to be a nice roof setup. I'd live in this house. Not underground. Oh god, no. No, that's a terrible idea. So again, my end was boring and I thought, well, I should probably get some more stir sticks up in there. So I have some square balsa pieces just to make it look a little interesting over there, but it's mostly boring. I did the dormers too. This is that same wash as before. Wash, 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 wash. More wash. I just want more of like a warm color than I ended up with, so flat earth, that's where it's at. For an underground house, it makes sense, right? I did a darker color for the rafters. That's it, you guys. That's my build. It's pretty simple, because there's nothing in it. So I'm gonna add everything into it as a separate build. But you can see, like, it's a pretty cool little structure. I really like how it turned out. Hope you guys liked it too. Hope you enjoyed the video. And of course, like and subscribe, do that whole thing. And the next one of these, I'll probably do a different video next, but when I get back to this, I'm gonna do the whole interior, you know, the kitchen. They have a really cool oven. I gotta build a well. I gotta build a really fancy toilet. There's gonna be a lot of good stuff. So I hope you come back for that. And whatever else I do. Just watch all my videos. Thank you. You don't have to. Only watch them if you like them.